guys, welcome back. Okay, another change. We're doing the lesson today, and Sunday is going to be the demo. I'm not finished with the other picture. That's my excuse. So, we're going to do the lesson today because this is going to be a little bit easier, and a lot of people are done with this step, and we can move on to the next one. We're working on the first picture of the Comprehensive Blending Course 2. And if you are new to the channel and you don't know about this, we're just starting our lessons. You can get the paperwork for it in my description box below in the Etsy shop. And again, we're only on the second lesson. You can catch up easily. In fact, they're all the lessons are in a playlist on my channel. If you go to my channel page and just right to the playlist, it's the top playlist. Last week we were talking about midtones, and that's your middle color. Today we're going to work on the edges, okay? And we're going to concentrate on the edges. Unlike before when you used to color, you're not going to be adding in your edges by going around. Okay, that's a mistake people make. They almost create the lines. With your edges, you're going to take your pencil. Now, if you look at the reference photo, the edges are dark. A lot of times the edges are not going to be dark. This is the only, maybe one of the only times because the actual picture has dark edges. It will change. We're going to be talking about edges for the next rest of the course. In this case, our edges are dark, and we're going to use our darker of the pencils. Now remember, you chose your dark, medium, and light. Get out your dark pencil. Instead of going and following it around like this has a round curve, you're going to do little strokes going around the picture where you see the darkness. Okay? Work from box to box like you did last time. Okay? I'm just happen to be starting in the middle box. Now, what this is going to prevent is something that everybody does, and it's very frustrating. People create a ring around their picture. And you don't want that. You want your edges to blend seamlessly into your picture. You don't want a heavy line. Now, we are used to heavy lines because we do coloring books. This is not a coloring book, okay? This is a real sketch for a real picture that you can take to a realistic level. So you're going to follow it around. You don't want to scratch in a hard line on your edge. Okay, so now I'm looking at this, which is in this box, and it's to the side. It goes down into a triangular shape. Okay, remember I told you to practice those starts and stops on the graph paper. Well, here you have a triangular line. And that, you see, leads down into a darker line, which I have right there. And I'm going to just slightly darken that up to keep my place. So now when I look at the picture, I'm looking at it a little bit easier because I'm like, oh, I can go here to here quicker with my eyes. Now over here, it's really dark, and you can see I have it right there. My guideline is right there, and that gets really darker. Okay, do not scratch into your page. We're working on your bottom edges. And then we have this, which is very dark, and I'm going to darken it up. Okay, I'm not going to make it the darkest. I'm not burnishing it. I'm just creating that darkness as on this one it would be a second layer. For some of you it might be first. Resist the temptation of going around and creating that edge. Later on we'll be able to do that. Over here we have it going down, and I'm going to create that dark. Okay, and that goes right into See where there's a little bit of a hump and a little bit of a hump here. It goes down and into the joint between this box and over here. So I'm going to darken that up. Now what I'm doing is creating a layer that this leaf, this petal actually, is in front of this petal. And I want to leave this on the other side light enough so it's going to really stick out. Now this is opposite. Usually dark colors go into the background and lighter colors stick up. But in this case, the actual flower itself is dark. Now use your color picture to do this. Keep looking at your color picture and looking back, and you'll see that it'll start to take shape. Once you get your edges done, we're going to be able to put in our highlights and start some detail work. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know this lesson it's not that hard. It's just going to take you a little while. So I'm going to do a little bit of a demo on mine. And I probably won't finish everything. See, now I'm creating the corner right in there. And that corner has a line, a darker line going up and into this. And then it comes down here. And there's a slight shadow right there. Okay, now if I look at the tip of this, a little bit of it is dark. I'm going to put that in. If I look at this area, I've got some dark shadow or shade right on that hump. And my little strokes. Okay? And then it sort of gets thin. Okay? On this, right in here, this edge is really dark. Okay? And then it blooms out. Okay, so I'm going to take this a little darker. Resist that urge to make that line going around. You'll get used to that. And I know that in coloring books you do it all the time. Everybody does because it's perfectly acceptable. You will get used to this new way. Now if I'm looking up over here, there's a triangle right in this little area where that line goes down. I want to make sure I get that shaded in. And over here, to figure out where I'm at. Okay, here, it's a little dark. And then I go down on this one. You have to concentrate. It's very hard to do that when you're talking. Now, on here, if you look at your picture, this is a very tricky area. Okay? Because there's 3 shades on this area. If you notice that this is the darker area, this is a lighter area, but it's not the mid-tone. It's darker than the mid-tone, but lighter than the darkest. Leave that open and light because we'll do some blending in that area. Some other tricky areas on here. Okay. Where these little not petals, but leaves start the base of the flower. I chose this picture because if you look at it, the petals are actually translucent. That little thing is peeping through as you're looking up. So, okay, so what is it here? This has a round shape. These are those, but that's on the other side. So you have to trick the perception here. You're not going to be doing this very dark. Don't. Because you're going to have the actual petal become see-through so that you could see it through the leaf. You see how these are darker? And there's actually a dark leaf right in here, if you could see that. And I know it's hard. See, all these pictures that I've given you all have tricks to it. And this one is the translucence of the actual flower. So if we can capture that, remember, just leave these alone for now, because we're going to work on this area next week. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Okay, so this is getting darker until we're here. That's a little darker at the top. As you're doing this, you're going to feel a change in your hand. You're going to actually feel like this picture is going to make you feel like a real artist instead of a coloring book. Well, I shouldn't say real artist, because coloring book artists are real artists. You're going to feel like a professional artist and not somebody who's just coloring in coloring books. And notice how my picture is starting to take on a different look than if I was coloring it all at one time. Kind of looks like an artist sketch, like the beginnings of art. And that's where doing your strokes are going to be much different. So let me see your pictures. I know people have been sending them. Let me see them when you're doing this. If you want me to push you through it, I will. If you have any questions, just send me an email, write them in the comment section, and I'm there for you. Anybody who's taken this class, and if you want to get your paperwork, you can get it over at the Etsy shop. I will see you guys in our next lesson, and Sunday for the demo, finally. It's coming out good. Just takes time. Before I forget, I got my first video up on the new channel. Well, not really the first video, but the first crafting video. The new channel is the Tempered Spirit, and I'll see you guys there. Take care. Bye-bye.